What up, though? This is your boy Mike D, host of Wrestling from the 313, and we are back with a back-to-back episode. This is our second episode today, and we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Also, want to give a shout out to the Wrestling Society Network. Make sure you check their app out on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, and Apple TV. Got a lot of great wrestling content. And today, my guest is he's a promoter from Island Pro Wrestling in Canada. That's Prince Edward Island in Canada. And he's here to talk about IPW, and they also have an event coming up this Saturday. So my guest is Justin Somers. Like we like to say in Detroit, what up, though? And
yo, what up to you too, Mike? Thanks for having me on, dude.
No problem. This is your first time.
What an intro. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. No problem. This is your first time on, so got to make you welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, like we were kind of chatting beforehand. I recently bought a wrestling promotion back in January, Island Pro Wrestling up here in Prince Edward Island, Canada. And yeah, it's been a journey since owning a wrestling promotion. So
that's what's up. We're gonna dig deep into that a little bit, but real quick, before you even got into the wrestling business, before you even thought about, starting a promotion, like when did you become a fan of pro wrestling, and like who were some of your favorites growing up?
Man, when I was a kid, I remember seeing The Undertaker, and I was just sold from there. Like I bought into the whole like dark mysterious thing that The Undertaker had on the go. And then I just stuck around for all the timelines that started to build with like Kane and like how like they killed their parents and Kane's here and like it just got so wild. I was hooked right away.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's around the time like I grew up when I first started watching wrestling. It was more like in the 80s when the rock and wrestling era had started, when Saturday night's main event used to come on like late Saturday night when they wouldn't have Saturday Night Live on. But then it was just like you said, that when Undertaker came around, that was like in the 90s. And when they were kind of like drifting off from guys like Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man, that's when guys
Warrior was awesome too, man. I love the Ultimate Warrior too.
Yeah.
Just shake the shit out of the ropes. Like.
I think what made me a fan of the Ultimate Warrior, like I was always a fan of his character, but I think what really made him stand out was when he was the Intercontinental Champion and the World Champion, and he had the color strap. I thought that was so dope. And then you
badass, man. It looks so cool.
Yeah, because it was like it was like something different from the black strap. And anybody else that was the champion, the belt always had the black strap. So and then
I remember having one of those little wrestling buddy pillows that was the Ultimate Warrior when I was a kid, like throwing that thing around in the bedroom.
Yeah. And then it was just like, but when they did that, it was kind of cool because it fit with his character, because he always had different color attire, the strings on the boots, the different color makeup.
Standout character, right?
Yeah, definitely. And then it was like when the Undertaker came around, like when those guys drifted off, like Warrior, Hogan, Savage, like it was the Undertaker's turn. It was his time to shine. And then, Bret Hart was coming up, Shawn Michaels.
See, you mentioned Bret Hart, man. He's a Canadian icon, right? Whenever he was heel in the United States, he was still a baby face up here, man. Everybody loves Bret Hart up here.
Yeah, he got to be like the equivalent to what CM Punk is in Chicago.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
Like times 10. Times 10.
He's got a whole nation behind him.
Yeah.
And I mean, even touching base on like training schools and stuff like that, they got the dungeon out in Calgary with the Hart Foundation. Like they've had a lot of talent go through their training process down there and make it to the big stage of WWE.
Yeah, definitely. So is the dungeon still? Are they still running the dungeon?
Yeah, they still have a dungeon out there.
That's what's up. Is do you know offhand who's running it?
I'm not sure offhand. I know Brett still has something to do with it. A friend of mine was actually down in WrestleMania there this past, and he ran into Bret Hart. They had a plane ride together back to Canada. They were both flying back to Calgary, so they were sitting next to each other on the plane and just kind of getting to shoot the shit, which was pretty cool.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So let's just real quick just talk about Bret Hart, and I know he's real big in Canada, and of course, I know the Montreal screw job was really really big up there. Just and then he after all of that, he went to real. Hold on 1 second.
Oh,
Uh,
still there? There you go.
okay,
Sorry,
yeah,
cut out
yeah.
for a second. I was
Oh,
like,
no problem.
everybody knows Montreal
Yeah, yeah,
for that screw job that happened there. That's become a huge part of wrestling history, and like, yeah, I don't know how many documentaries I've seen where that's brought up time and time again.
yeah, definitely. So it's like, what did you think of his run at WCW? Like,
It was forced. Yeah, I
yeah,
thought it was forced, right? Like
yeah,
he never wanted to leave WWF. He was kind of more so, shown the door, right? It's like it was a
yeah,
weird time in wrestling then too, because WWF had such a grasp, and then WCW just had all the money behind them, so they could just push whatever they wanted.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just buy talent all up. Like it's awfully hard to say I love you, Vince, whenever somebody's waving $1 million in your face. So
Yeah, that's true. Cause
yeah,
because that was around that time Vince didn't really want to pay his stars top dollar to keep them,
that's
and
right.
I think that I think Vince really messed up with Hall and Nash.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
he definitely should have resigned them, and I think and this would have been dope if they would have resigned. They should have made the Click or on screen or on camera faction too.
Yeah, 100%. And they would have had people like put them over that way too. Like that would have been a really good storyline.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So real quick, let's get
Shoulda, coulda, wouldas, I guess.
right, right. So let's go back to your you starting the promotion with IPW. So
Yeah.
what inspired you to get into the business, and how did IPW come to life?
So I come from a live music background. I've done promotion for over 300 different events. So I have like a background in promotion. Um, but really what made me want to buy a wrestling promotion was my son. My son's into wrestling now. It's something that we like bond over. And I was like, how cool would it be for his old man to have a wrestling promotion and put on
Yeah,
some cool events? So
that's what's up.
um, when it all came to light, and buddy who had the promotion before me, because we bought it, it was a struggling promotion, and on its way out, and buddy was looking to give it up. I called my best buddy Chris up. He's out in Western Canada in Alberta. And I was like, "Hey, bro, you wanna buy a wrestling company?" And he was just like, "Hell yeah, brother, let's do it." So we just went 2 feet in, and we actually sold a little bit of the ownership off and built a board of directors for Island Pro Wrestling.
Oh, cool.
So we're kind of doing it by committee now. So it's not like it's always going to be fun first because it's not so stressful.
Yeah,
We have people backing us up and like supporting our decision making, and it's fun first for us, and that's what it's got to be because that's what we want to give the fans is a lot of entertainment.
definitely, definitely. So, what makes IPW different from other promotions in independent wrestling?
100% our production value. So we put production behind our shows 100%. At our very first event that we did, IPW Takeover, we had pyro there, we had smoke geysers, we had all sorts of stuff really showcasing like really what the talent I think should be promoted like.
Yeah,
There's a lot of talent that came up to us after the event and was like, we've been working in this industry for so long and we've never had a pop like that and like appreciates like and they loved it. It was just as much for the talent as it was the fans. we stream all of our events on our Twitch, and we're gonna do it on Facebook and YouTube and stuff at this upcoming show on Saturday.
Okay,
And we got a couple different camera angles. We set the tone appropriately, and we just want to build a online network of people who, like yourself, can't physically attend the show, but you can still come down and see it on Twitch and get involved in the chat and let us know what you think of the product.
definitely. That's what's up. So, real quick, just offhand, and I know you don't know the actual number, but in your area, how many that you could think of, how many wrestling promotions is it?
Uh, I would say in like the Atlantic Canada area, you're probably looking at about 20, maybe
Okay,
somewhere between 15 and 20. That'd be like New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island. There's a handful in Newfoundland as well, if you wanted to include Newfoundland in the Atlantic count there. So yeah, I'd say somewhere around 20.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
So, do you ever plan to like one day do shows outside of Canada? Is that like a plan or a goal?
It's funny you mentioned that because with the last WrestleMania week that happened there, this upcoming year, all the talk was that it was going to be in Louisiana. It was going to be in Louisiana,
Yeah,
and then now it's not. They're changing that location. So originally, I would have loved to have partnered with a U.S. promotion down there and offered a show for WrestleMania week in whatever city that they're going to be doing WrestleMania in.
oh, okay, okay. So, would you consider Las Vegas or
Oh, in a heartbeat. I would be all over Las Vegas. I was so mad that we didn't get to go last time for Las Vegas. It's almost like it'd be a blessing to have the second chance.
definitely? Yeah, because the rumor right now is like they're close to a deal where Wrestle next year's WrestleMania is going to be in Vegas again, and I
Yeah,
and I heard one of the reasons why it's not in New Orleans because they didn't think that they would make the same amount of money in New Orleans as they did in Vegas, and it's like,
correct.
come on now, that's not even that's a no brainer right there, you know?
Yeah, the money flows in Vegas, right? So,
Yeah,
and I mean, whenever I seen that statement come out too, I was like, well, maybe New Orleans isn't going to be able to accommodate them in some way, but it definitely came down to the money. I would say Vegas put a bigger offer on the table, like, hey, that was a great event. Let's see it happen again next year.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it seemed like for me, the more that they have it in these big cities, it's going to be hard for other cities to get WrestleMania in their city because it's like, okay, who can top Vegas? Nobody's going to be able to top Vegas. Like,
I mean, Madison Square Garden is always super popular too, right?
that's
But
true.
I think it's going to be trending in the same way that the UFC's been doing it. You're going to see WrestleMania start traveling out of country. You're going to see
Yeah,
it happen over in Saudi Arabia. You're going to see it happen
yeah,
over in, at Wembley Stadium over there in England. Like you'll start seeing it travel around as it's becoming more and more globalized.
yeah. And I think the 2026 Royal Rumble is going to be the tester right there.
Mhm.
If they have a lot of the success with the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, then
Yeah.
I definitely think that's going to open the door for WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia.
100%. And like we said, like where the money flows is where they're gonna go. They're going on record saying, we're making record breaking profits and now we're gonna axe our truth and get rid of Carlito and save some more money. But
Yeah,
like they're definitely going where the money flows for sure.
definitely. So real quick, just to touch on the news that happened this past Sunday, our truth being released. What are your thoughts on that? Because a lot of people are pissed off about it, and they've been protesting on social media to bring them back. Just real quick, what are your thoughts?
Well, honestly, I think it's a corporate move.
Oh,
They're
definitely.
freeing up some spots for younger talent to start moving up the roster.
Yep.
Um, I think our truth still has a pile of value. I think he's a fantastic performer. And right now, with his release in the indie scene, he's at his most valuable. You're going to
Okay.
see indie scene start gobbling him up. Same with Carlito. We actually had Carlito perform at Island Pro Wrestling about 2 years ago.
Oh,
It was
cool.
right before he went back on to WWE. He had come and performed for the previous owner of the company. So technically, I guess he's an IPW alumni. Um, but same with him. He's rocking his top dollar right now. He was part of the Judgment Day. He was getting weekly segments on WWE with Raw and stuff. So I mean, it's kind of one of those like six and one, half a dozen another situations where it sucks to see the boys go, but like they're still going to make a payday somewhere else, and they're freeing up a roster spot for some of the up and coming talent, which is pretty wild too.
Yeah. And that's the same
So
thing I said. I said on my show yesterday. I had Professor Bear and not Professor Bear and Samp from the Samp and Chance podcast. Shout out to them. And I
yeah,
basically said the same thing. Like it's a business, you know what I'm saying? And like,
especially now that they're part of TKO.
yeah, and that's one of the things I said. It's not like they can hold on to who they want to. It's the McMahons don't own it anymore. They
That's
got
right.
to answer to TKO. So as TKO say, get rid of this guy, get rid of that guy, get rid of them.
Yeah,
That's what they
before it
got to
was
do.
just one voice at the table with Vince, and now it's 15 or 20 different voices at the table, all vouching to do something different. So,
Yeah,
um, I don't think this is going to be the end of the WWE cuts coming
no,
down the line. But you're going to see some of their talent move on to other promotions and do just as well, or become like the man in a different region. Like it's kind of the way of wrestling, really. Like, and
yeah,
let's be real, the both our Truth and Carlito, they're not young men anymore.
yeah,
And
definitely.
really, if you're taking bumps night in, night out, that's a young man's game. You can see how much it catches up to a fella. Like you see the Undertaker on his podcast and talking about all his surgeries that he's had, and just
Yeah,
to keep going in the industry. Like
yep,
it's for a pre-scripted event, it's awfully hard on the body.
definitely. And a lot of people got to remember with our Truth, it wasn't that long ago he suffered
K
a real
Quick. It
severe
was K
knee.
Quick.
Yeah, yeah. And he when he was in NXT a few years ago, he suffered that severe knee
Yeah.
injury too.
Yeah.
So ain't no telling, what type of effects he's still going through with that injury. And like you said, like he's almost 55. So it's like he can't perform like that anymore.
The
I
only
think,
thing I thought was a little weird was that he was doing the John Cena stuff at this
yeah,
point. So, I mean, I don't know how much of that is like background of them being like, okay, let's give him his pop on his way out the door, or if it's like he was just doing that great and then they just came down with a axe decision.
yeah, yeah. And that's the same thing with Carlito, with him
Yep.
being part of the Judgment Day and being part of the skits in the back and just being involved in some of the matches. Like that was kind of a shocker too. But
Oh yeah.
I think, and I said this yesterday. I think what WWE is doing, what they have to do, is I think they're getting rid of some of the older guys, and like you
Yep.
said, a lot of the younger talent from NXT are coming up. I mean, they've already called up Axiom or Fraxium. They called up Roxanne Perez,
Yep.
Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, and the women's division in NXT is thriving right now. So
Yes, it is. That's one thing that I really want to do with Island Pro Wrestling is start a women's division with a title. Um, like right now, we're kind of going through the paces of we're doing a tournament for picking our heavyweight champion.
okay,
Um, so we're going to do that over the course of two shows, but eventually, I'd love to move to getting a women's title here and bringing more women in. Like it's hot right now. Women's wrestling is the
yeah,
hot topic, and like and it's not all about just the sex appeal and like the skimpy clothes anymore. Like these girls are rocking it in the ring, and
yeah,
they're like, look at Tiffany Stratton, man. Like the
yeah.
moves that she can pull off. Whew, like, and then you get Stephanie Vecker in there too, and like, yeah, man, it's thriving right now. Women's wrestling is hot and it's trending.
And I would also even say, and I think she's one of the best heels in WWE
Hmm.
right now, top three, Naomi. The
Naomi
evolution
is
of what
awesome
she be,
too. Yeah.
yeah, from going from the Feel the Glow character to what she's evolved to now. And her heel run is definitely 10 times better than back in the day when she was in Team Bad with Sasha Banks and Tamina. Like
Yeah. And
it seemed like that first run she was kind of like she didn't know how to be a heel because she was being a baby face for
she
so
was
long.
baby facing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like now it seemed like she's more prepared for this role and she's been killing it. I definitely hope that she wins the Money in the Bank briefcase.
I was
I
also happy to see the man come back and Becky Lynch. Like
yeah.
that was pretty cool.
And real quick, one thing I'm just say with all the call ups that have been happening in NXT, it seems like more women have been getting called up than the men.
Yeah. Because that's the trend right now. That's what's in. That's what people want to see because it's high action and able to compete with a lot of the other action that they were doing on WWE.
Definitely, definitely.
Also, I have to give a little bit of a thumbs down to NXT. When we ran our first event here with Island Pro Wrestling under our new management, we had a fatal four way match that we had done, and there was two segments that we did. We did a tower, and then there was a three-way headlock into a stunner. And
Mm-hmm.
10 days later, NXT ran the same fatal four-way with the exact same two stunts happening. And like, dude, it was so close. We made a comparison video. It's on our YouTube page. You go take a look at that. It's like, okay, was Shawn Michaels creeping on our Twitch account whenever we were filming this or what? So,
Hey, you know what? With them being more involved in the independents, I wouldn't
yeah.
be surprised if they had like more scouts or more
Well,
people looking at independent
and
shows.
it's funny you say the word scouts, man, because like eventually I would love for Island Pro Wrestling to become like a promotion that is recognized by WWE ID or NXT or something like that, where we
Yeah,
could kind of like springboard some of the up and coming talent and show them in a good production because we offer a really good production for our talent. So we can kind of like showcase the talent in a high end production setting and
yeah.
kind of springboard them to the next level. That'd be super cool.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
So do you know if so far if WWE has been in Canada scouting talent?
A lot of the times, whenever there's like a WWE ID program going on, it's usually in like Maine or something like that. And a lot of the Canadian boys will kind of tag team up in a car and go for a weekend trip, taking some seminars, go get ID'd by WWE, and just kind of like take those next steps. But really, I'd love to see our promotion kind of become a staple where, they're like, hey, we're watching these guys to see exactly what's happening around here because as we grow as a promotion we're going to start bringing people in like even on our next show like we're on show number 2 and we got people flying in from Montreal, we got people flying in from Florida, we got people flying in from different places in the world to come and participate in our heavyweight tournament. Like we have gentlemen from, I say gentleman very loosely, but he's from Florida. His name's August Artois, and he's making his Canadian debut up here. He's been over in the UK. He's held championships all throughout the states. So for him to be coming and doing his Canadian debut up here after being such a well-traveled man already, it's like that's pretty cool. And we want to just continue that path of people wanting to come and work with us. We're going to put the work into making people shine. We're going to give the fans the best possible experience they can ask for and like just keep giving the talent those pops and I think eventually it'll start to work out.
Definitely, definitely. So I know you mentioned, about having a spotlight for up and coming talent.
Yeah.
So how important is it for you to feature local stars and who are some of the breakout stars to look out for at IPW?
So that was one thing I promised the existing fan base to Island Pro Wrestling when I bought the company is that we wouldn't just go and change everything all at once. So like we've definitely had return faces come to our promotion on our first show. We got a couple more coming on our next show. So there is like a good cast of wrestling talent in the Maritimes of Canada. Um, but a lot of the times those stories have been done in other promotions as well. So we're always trying to like kind of mix the blood up and inject somebody from outside of the area, or even just kind of thinking outside of the box, because really I'm not a wrestling promoter yet. I'm learning to be a wrestling promoter,
Right.
but like a lot of my ideas aren't from the perspective of the wrestling promoters, so we're kind of outside the box on a lot of ideas.
Hmm.
I think people recognize that, and that we're doing it with the best intentions from the heart, but like we're trying to shift it up and change the game up here. We want to make sure that people are getting that pop, man. We want the fans, even on Twitch and Facebook and everything. We want everybody to get involved and see the best wrestling that we can offer. And I think we're living in an age right now with wrestling where it's like it's a revival. There's people my age with kids my age getting back into it and loving it, right? So
Yeah.
like, and then the women's division's taken off. Like it's so much more than it was when I was a kid, and like I think the wave is trending up right now.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. Real quick, want to give a shout out to Sampin Chance from the Sampin Chance podcast. What up to you
So,
guys? They also represent Canada. They are from the Vancouver area.
oh, cool,
So
right on. We're on the opposite coast.
yeah. They have a podcast. They talk about wrestling and boxing.
Nice. They'll have to hit me up. I'd love to get on their show too.
Definitely, definitely. So let's talk about the event you got coming up. Game On is this Saturday.
Yep.
What can fans expect from Game On, and what makes the show stand out?
It's gonna be wild, man. Like, and I'm not just saying that because I'm biased. It's like there's we were having a board of directors meeting the other day, and we're like, which match is gonna be the match of the night? And there was like 6, 7 matches out of 8 matches that everybody was debating on. So it was like, okay, well, obviously that's not an easy pick. So I mean, there's gonna be a bunch of matchups that I mean, you'll get to catch them on Twitch and see them live, but like in person, that's gonna be wild. We got Giant Orion taking on the original TNA veteran Alex Silva.
Okay.
So we got him coming there. Both those guys are competing for the heavyweight title. We're doing a bracket tournament, so we got 4 matches. We got August Artois from Florida taking on the Muscle Beast Wesley Pipes from up St. John, New Brunswick. So that's a pretty cool matchup. We got Bobby Boyette going against Rugged Rick Owens. That's a brawn on brawn, or as Big E would say, big sweaty men swinging big sweaty meats. So that's just the who's gonna break first sort of thing. Um, then we got the Ghost Ricky Mortis, who's really taken off here in the maritime scene. He's going up against the big bad LG Logan Green. Anybody who followed our first event, they'll just automatically know that there's some bad blood um, between those guys. And there's one thing I've learned as a wrestling promoter so far. There's like some things that are scripted, and then there's some things that are like just real bad blood. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna kind of go with that and see what happens there. And then I mean we're doing the revival of the women's division too. We're doing a
Okay.
couple women's wrestling matches. We got the ring breaker Karma Rain going up in Stormy Hale. We're going to be showcasing that in a VIP match. The second VIP match is going to be Ryan Shamel against the Mauler James Manning in a triple threat with TJ Miguel, the Philippine Dream. So um,
Sweet.
there's a bunch of stuff, man, and like as I said, if you follow all of our content and stuff like that, we're really trying to build storyline with a lot of these guys too. I thought that was important to the fans, and I noticed a lot of indie promotions weren't doing storylines, which was really surprising. They were just kind of booking matches and letting it play out like however it was going to play out. But we really want to put some substance behind our matches too, and that's what people are going to get even in our main event of the night for the Prince Edward Island title. We got Zane Valentine in his first ever title defense for the PEI title going up against the Maritime Luchador Fantana. So like there's excitement in all the matches. I've been so excited to get the event going because I'll get to watch all the film the day afterwards because I'll be so busy the day of making sure
Yeah.
everything's going on all right. So
Yeah. So real quick, uh Sam from the Sample Chance podcast, he asked what's the Maritimes look like? What is the Maritimes?
So the Maritimes would be the three Atlantic, well, maritime provinces. It's Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Prince Edward Island.
Okay.
Once we group Newfoundland in, we call it Atlantic Canada. So it's just kind of how we like have Midwest or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what's up. So I think you pretty much summed up what the
I know,
plans are.
right? Spit that off pretty quick.
The plans are for game on. But could you just give us a little teaser on some other stuff you got planned for the show?
I mean, everything we do has substance behind it. So we're partnering up with the PEI Humane Society for a 50-50 ticket draw that's in support of the animal shelter here in Prince Edward Island. We
Okay.
thought that was like a really good cause to get behind and try and raise some funds for. Um, we have a random bachelor party that's happening at the event too, so I thought that was
Oh,
pretty
sweet.
cool. We're only into show two so far, and it's been really cool seeing the ebbs and flows of what the wrestling community has to offer, both like locally and globally.
That's what's up. We
Yeah.
got a we got another question from Sam. He say, what's the wrestling scene like in the area?
It's hot. Right now, there's a very good revitalization of wrestling happening in our area. There seems to be more shows happening than there ever has been before. We're seeing people come into the wrestling game as new time wrestlers and starting to go to schools and get trained, and it's really popping off up here. And I've noticed in other areas of Canada is the same. It's really popping off in different areas, and I don't know if that's like WWE's on Netflix now and like that much readily available to a big market, but
Yeah,
I've noticed in the past a little bit that yeah, it's been popping off everywhere.
definitely. That's what's up. So this show that you have this coming Saturday,
Yeah.
game on, how important is this show for the future of IPW?
Huge, man, because this is the first round of the heavyweight championship tournament. We decided right off the bat that like we're not just going to throw straps on guys and see if they stick. We're actually going to hold a tournament. We're going to do it over the course of two events. We're going to make sure that enough work goes into making this title worth something. We don't just want it to be, given to somebody and say, "Okay, go with it." No, we want to make sure people are earning it. That's one thing that we really push here is that we're Island Pro Wrestling. We want these professionals here competing professionally for a notarized piece of, title, and just making sure it means something first and foremost.
Definitely. So not to give away too much about what goes on behind the scenes and but how like with a tournament like this, how do you determine who wins the matches and who wins the tournament? Like
It's
what?
it's it's wild, man. We have a whole creative department here at Island Pro Wrestling. We got a good group in there. Shout out to Adam Doucette, shout out to Dwayne, shout out to Chris, a bunch of people in there. And it's hard. It's really hard to pick who's going to win a match because a lot of the talent that we're bringing in here is like top talent, and it could go either way, and you could run a story with it. But at the end of the day, it's how we're going to market these people. How well they're going to showcase our brand and what we're striving for. It's really hard to book these matches, and I'm so thankful that I'm not like the end all be all say into like anybody who's going over or anything like that, because it would be a very tough decision.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So so I know you guys have crowning a new world champion. What other championships do you have in mind? I know you said a women's championship, but as
Yeah.
far as like mid card titles.
So we already have a mid card title. We've labeled that the PEI Championship title. There is kind of a bit of a stipulation to that belt, is that can only be competed or defended here in Prince Edward Island. So that's kind of like our home belt. And if people want to get their name on that, they got to come here and compete for it.
Okay.
And then we also have the heavyweight belt that we're doing the tournament for. Ultimately, I'd love to see our promotion grow to have a women's title and then move on towards to have like tag titles eventually too. But I mean, it's all Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah.
We've committed to do 4 events this year. We're planning on stepping that up and show frequency for next year, and eventually we'll get there. It's just a matter of time and making sure that everything's done properly.
Definitely. We got another comment from Sam. He says we got to connect you to Vance Nevada, the most decorated champion in all of Canadian history.
Vance Nevada, yeah. So Vance Nevada has already been an IPW alumni. Actually,
Oh,
the previous owner had one of the very first shows that I attended had Vance Nevada at it, and I actually bought his book. He's got a fantastic book keeping track of the history of different titles throughout wrestling's history. Like, I highly recommend you look into it. It's fantastic. My son took it around and got it signed by all the wrestlers at the event and stuff like that. It was
cool.
yeah, it's pretty cool. It's sitting on my bookshelf right now.
Sweet, sweet. So I think you already had said that Game On is going to be streaming on Twitch. Is he going to be streaming on any other platforms?
Yeah, so we're gonna hit Twitch, shameless self promo, twitch.tv/Island Pro Wrestling. We're also gonna be streaming it on the Facebook and the YouTube and everywhere we can stream it. We're gonna get that out to people as much as possible. Um, I'm a little selfish in saying that we get to experience it live, but this is the second best thing, is to be able to watch it online and share it with your friends. We're trying to work YouTube's algorithm or whatever it is. The the more
Yeah,
that people share it around, it really helps us reach a different market, and we really want to build an online wrestling community that's going to be established, and we want to give a good product to. Like, we're striving to push that needle to the next level and showcase a really good product to wrestling fans.
sweet, sweet. We got
Yeah.
a comment from Scene Nick. He says, have an awesome show this Saturday and tell my buddy August I said hi.
Yeah, I'll definitely tell August hello for you. He's I don't know, Mike, if you haven't checked him out, he's worthwhile checking out too, August Artois.
Okay.
Yeah, got
Is
to do
he
some homework on that one. He's coming up for his Canadian debut from Florida there.
sweet, sweet. Does he is he on any of your Facebook pages or social media pages?
Yeah, you betcha, man. Like, that's one thing we ask from all of our talent, is that they provide us promos.
Okay,
We want 2 promos from our talents. We really want to showcase everybody appropriately, so we need some content to do that. So, but yeah, August has provided lots of content for us. It's not hard to find on the internet, so you're in for a treat for some of his videos for sure.
definitely, definitely. Want to give a shout out to Scene Nick. He was on the show a little while ago.
Nice.
What what up though? And hope all is well with you. And anything you got going on, Scene Nick, just let me know and I can post it or promote it for you.
Yeah, I've seen Scenic following our stuff too. So shout out to Scenic on our behalf too. Thanks for all the engagement and being interested in our promotion, man.
Sweet, sweet. So what advice would you have for someone that wants to start their own wrestling promotion?
Don't do it. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, long and short is it's a constant pivot. That's what I've been learning so far, is just be ready to pivot at any given turn. I mean, when you're getting that many personalities and characters together in one room, there's always something that can go awry. You have to be ready to have a plan B, have a plan C, and have a plan D as well. So just making sure that you try and keep your eggs in a row, and but don't put them all in one basket at the same time. Just be able to take the rolls with the punches. So it's fun, and it should be fun first. So as long as you're making it fun first, I don't think it matters. If you're having a good time and you're not hurting anybody, keep it up. It's fun.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. And I think, that's one of the things. If it's your passion to start a promotion, do it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's kind of like with podcasting. Everybody might not have that courage, but to get on camera and talk about wrestling. But you also got to think about it. You talking about something that you love, you
That's
passionate
right.
about. So it kind of make it comfortable. You know what I'm
No
saying?
risk, no glory either, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, real quick, want to give a shout out to John from the Sports for You podcast.
Hey,
They've
John.
based out on the West Coast in Cali. They got a show coming up at 9:45, the Sports for You Wrestling Podcast. So if you get a chance, check them out on YouTube.
Yeah, send me the link.
Definitely, I do that after the show.
Hell yeah.
So we you being in the independence, would it ever be a time like, would it be a goal for you or something that you would like to maybe like TNA or somebody like WWE reached out to you and did some type of little cross promotion where they look at some of the talent on your roster and work with them? Like, would that be something that you would like to do?
I mean, I'll always explore all the options too. Like, I'm a businessman. I own a construction company. I own an electrical company. I got a few different things on the go, and I'm a businessman first. And if somebody approached us about talking business in that sense, I mean, I'd certainly sit down at the table and listen to what the pitch was and make an educated decision from there. It'd be really cool to do some cross promotion stuff, but really only if it worked for both parties, right? We we don't want to get our truth around here.
You
Too
know what?
soon? Too soon for that one?
You know what? I think in a minute people gonna be protesting outside the WWE shows to bring him back.
Yeah, did you not hear them chanting, "We want truth, we want truth"? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And it's crazy because, like you said, and I agree too. I don't think that they're done with a lot of the cuts. And
Yeah.
another name that I've been hearing, and I wouldn't be surprised if this happened. I've been hearing the Miz might get cut too.
It's possible that the Miz gets cut. Um it it would be a big surprise. I would hope that it doesn't happen, but it is a possibility.
Yeah, and then just the way that he's been used lately, they really haven't been using him in matches, and they've been using him to kind of put Aleister Black over and Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
So it's
No,
just
sure.
like I wouldn't say that he hasn't been relevant, but they haven't been putting him in major storylines.
And I mean, like, there's something to say in those like legends contracts or those like affiliate contracts that they offer too. Like, there is just some talents that they're still great. They still got value. They still add to storylines, but they're not necessarily every week use talent. So I feel like they're gonna kind of start just looking at different talent and start shedding people that they're not really gonna be writing a lot for in the future.
Definitely, definitely. So this weekend is a big wrestling weekend. We got
Yeah.
Worlds Collide coming up. That's going to be I think that's going to be a good pay per view. I think that might actually be better than Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
You
it's
got
terrible that everybody's gonna miss it and stream our Twitch stream there instead. So,
yeah, yeah.
but
But
you're
this,
right. Like, I do think Worlds Collide is gonna be bigger than the Money in the Bank.
yeah, because one thing that I could say about NXT, a lot of people might not, and I know a lot of people love the black and gold era, but
Hmm.
a lot of those guys from the black and gold era kind of ran their course. Like when the undisputed era was in the black and gold, when they were in NXT, they won all the championships. So it was like after a while when they lost it, what 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 was it for them to do? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it was like that with Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Karrion Kross, but it was like unfortunately when they got called up, when Vince was running things, they weren't used properly. You
Yeah,
know?
and that's it. It's about using the talent appropriately, right? Like making
Yeah,
sure they're fit in a storyline, not just a one shot and then gone. So that's an easy way to ruin somebody's career is to just be called up and put in one segment and then buried, right?
yeah,
So it's very hard for the talent. Uh, it's so hard for them because they don't have that creative control, and they
yeah,
really have to sell themselves to the creatives to be like, I am the one that you want to be featuring in your storylines.
yeah. And then it's like when they switched over to 2.0, I think a lot of people weren't feeling it, but I think they did a good job by creating new NXT stars. And I feel like they pay-per-views haven't missed a step. You know, all the takeover pay-per-views were
They
classic.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. They've been hitting the pace, right? They've been pacing it out really well.
oh yeah. And then it's just like and the standing delivers have been pretty good. And then they've been doing like the No Mercy pay-per-views and what is it, Roadblock, Halloween Havoc, stuff like that. They've
Yep.
been doing real good with producing new stars, and you could see it, especially with their women's division. You know, like they got a lot of women on there that could be future champions, whether it's
And will
NXT.
be, yeah, and they will be.
Yeah. And then they just signed Mariah May. She just debuted yesterday. So that's another person that they about to push real hard and get her into that WWE system. I could see her on the main roster within 2 years.
And that's the thing too is like how many roster spots are there uh for the amount of talent that is being produced. Like,
Yeah,
there's a lot of really good talent coming out, but there's still only so many minutes on Raw. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So it's kind of good to see some of these other promotions start to be up and coming and offering different spots to talented people that maybe aren't getting the proper shine that they get from the WWE.
definitely, definitely. Just offhand, is it a match that you're looking forward to at Worlds Collide?
I mean, I just want a really good pay-per-view again. That's all I
Yeah,
want. It's
I agree.
like at this point, I'm not so much into the storyline. I'm watching for, I don't know, it's weird since I bought a promotion. I'm watching for really good matches. I'm not really so much into like the storyline. Like I am, but the performance inside the ring is what I've been really admiring a lot lately. And as long as there's good matches, I'd love to watch it. And I mean that honestly. Like we go to matches around our local area that they're not our promotion, but I'm still going because I love to support the wrestling community. I love seeing a good match. It doesn't matter who it is. If you're willing to put your body on the line and step inside the ring for our entertainment, it's like kudos to you. I'm going to support too.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So we got after Worlds Collide, then there's Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
It's four matches that they got so far. You know, they could always add another match on SmackDown. Real quick, who are your favorites for the men's and the women's Money in the Bank match? And you can also pick a dark horse.
Phew. I mean, I don't know, man. Like same thing. I just want to see really good wrestling. So whoever's going to put on the best show, they deserve it. But I
Yeah,
mean, ultimately, the creators in the background, they're going to sell whatever storyline they're thinking is going to make the most money, right? So,
yeah.
um, I'm a big Penta fan. I like Penta a lot.
Okay.
I'd like to see him kind of get a little more limelight in the future. But other than that, it's like as I just want good wrestling. Like me and my son sit down and we watch an event. We're looking for good wrestling.
Yeah, definitely. I got for my women's Money in the Bank, Naomi, and I think for my dark horse, I'm gonna go with Roxanne Perez.
I would say Roxanne Perez first, and then my dark horse would have been Naomi.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Roxanne Perez has been killing it. You know what I'm saying? And the whole
Well,
crazy part,
she's got it, right? She's got that vibe. She's selling it on all cylinders.
yeah, yeah. And it's like one of the things that I like about the women's Money in the Bank match is that, of course, you got Rhea Ripley,
Mhm.
Naomi, Alexa Bliss, but you got three new stars in it too that have never been in it. So it's like,
This is what I mean, mixing the old blood with the new blood, right?
yup, definitely. Uh,
We're gonna see a bunch of that happen over the next probably year and a half, 2 years to a lot of this stuff. Is they're really gonna push some of this up and coming talent into the mix, and they're gonna have some of their vets start to put over some of this new talent too.
oh yeah, most definitely. Um, I got for my men's Money in the Bank. Um, I got Seth Rollins winning the briefcase. Just for me, I think storyline wise, it makes sense because if he
Probably.
wins the briefcase, you know, the next night, well, on Monday on Raw, he's gonna come out with Paul Heyman, Bronson Reed, and Braun, and he's gonna say he's got the briefcase and tease that he's gonna cash it in whenever he wants.
Yeah, and he's just gonna tease it for a while too. I feel like they won't let that happen right away. They're gonna just keep teasing it and teasing it and teasing it.
Yeah, because a lot of people got to forget too. Roman hasn't been on for a while, so I think when he
Mhm.
comes back, I think he's gonna be getting his revenge against Seth.
I
Oh, go ahead.
deservedly so. Yes.
And then I'm one of the rumor matches I'm hearing for SummerSlam is Roman and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. So I definitely,
It's neat to see them pushing Braun Breaker more and more now.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the faction that they forming so far?
I I think it's interesting. Like you get a good mix there. But just kind of back to Braun Breaker for a minute. Whenever he gave a spear to I Show Speed, I felt bad for Speed, man. Oh my god. And then and then to get launched from the ring and then slammed through a table, I was like, this would probably be the last time he helps his buddy Logan with a cool event.
Yeah, yeah. Then they had showed the WWE had the YouTube short where they show I Show Speed in the backstage and he was
Yeah.
limping. And then they showed the gash he had on his leg. I was like, ooh,
Yeah,
nah.
man. Like I watched that again and again. Like the only place that I seen him get that gash would have been like his leg hitting the barricade or something, like and just literally tearing his skin open.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, oof. Yeah, he
yeah,
earned his keep that night.
yeah,
I bet you
definitely.
he wasn't so speedy the next day.
Right. It
Yeah.
probably took him a while before he could get some speed.
Yeah.
And that's just and that's just one of the things like I hate that people like to say that wrestling is fake because that right there, I Show Speed getting speared like that should be a prime example of
Yeah.
wrestling is not fake. And I could say countless examples. My the one example that I would say is the Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. Mankind.
none of that was scripted. Even when you watch like the biographies or like the documentaries that they do on that match and they talk about it, it's just like Mick Foley was crazy. And it's just
So
like,
to this day, that is my favorite match, hands down. The
yeah,
fact that he gets thrown from the top of the cage and then through the cage, and that's when the match starts. That
yeah.
was like unbelievable. I was like, how can this guy, like, the bell rang after he went through the cage to start the match. Like all that happened before the match even started.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like, and I don't know, that was just one of them matches. It's like if you don't believe that wrestling is real, that's one match to look at right there because it was nothing scripted or hey, I'm gonna throw you top of a top of a cage and
Yeah.
you just gonna get back up and start fighting. Like, no, all of that was real.
Yeah,
But
shout out Mick Foley. He turned 60 on June 7th, same date as our event there. So,
wow,
uh,
happy
wild
birthday.
man. Wild man.
Yeah. He was definitely, I would definitely say in that match, he was definitely going off adrenaline. That was
100%.
definitely
Yeah, 100%. His tooth was lodged up in his nose or something. Like it was
yeah,
wild,
yeah,
man.
yeah. And yeah, because I was watching the Hell in the Cell documentary on Vice, and they were talking about that, and that's just crazy how that impact coming from the top of the cage just did that. Had it how his tooth just went up was through his nose, like
Thank
that's
God he hit the table though. Could you
yeah,
imagine he didn't hit that table and like at least break some of that fall?
yeah, yeah. It would have been a wrap. It
Yeah.
would. But it's just, and I think that's one of the cool things about wrestling. Now, those matches that we watch and we've seen it is just like, just kind of like ooh and ah. And at the age that we are now, like I'm 43, and
Yeah.
to see the documentaries and just hear the stories, I just think it's crazy and
So
it's
so I
cool.
got a question for you. What do you think about the Undertaker coming out and telling all these stories now?
I think it's cool. I think it's cool.
Yeah,
Um,
see, like I was a little split at first, being like, "Oh no, there's some things like I just don't want to know," but at the same time, I'm like, "Okay, it's super cool to hear it now that he's actually speaking out."
yeah. You know what? I feel like everybody else is doing it. Why not the Undertaker? You know what I'm saying? And he's
Yeah,
one of those guys that's well respected in the wrestling business. So it's like, why not hear his stories, And like you said, he's been that dead man character for so long.
he kept
And
it under lock and key, man.
yeah, but I can't lie, I loved when he was the American badass character. And I
Keep
loved it because it
rolling,
was
rolling,
like,
rolling, rolling.
yeah,
I was hard into Limp Bizkit then too, man. It was so awesome.
yeah. And I like when he had the Kid Rock song as his theme song too.
Yeah, man.
I think that's what made me
Bong,
get into
da,
his
bong,
character because
bang, bang, diggy, diggy.
because I think at that time Kid Rock was coming up, Limp Bizkit was coming up,
Yeah,
and then to see the Undertaker, who you that had this dead man character for so long, switch it up with this
that
whole
was really a revival of him though. Like if he
yeah
didn't take the break from the Dead Man thing and do the American Badass, like I feel like maybe the Dead Man thing, it still probably would have went over.
yeah
But like everybody was so pumped whenever he brought it back full time. It was like, okay, yeah, everybody
yeah
rebought into the Undertaker.
yeah. I think that character turnaround is up there with Hulk Hogan when he turned heel and he was Hollywood Hogan. And
Yep,
I would definitely say Sting
Sting.
when he
Yeah,
went
that was
from
who
the
I was gonna
surfer
say.
character to the crow, the black and white. The
Yeah.
black and white Sting is like my favorite turnaround because he played that character well.
See, I love all that mysterious stuff. I loved Kane.
Yeah,
I loved Mankind. I loved all that dark. Even nowadays with Penta, like I still kind of like that dark thing that Penta has going on.
yeah,
Like I don't know. I've always been just more into the psychological wrestling thriller stuff too.
definitely, definitely. And that's even with the Wyatts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
The
same
Wyatts,
thing. Bray Wyatt. I mean, how can we go podcast without mentioning him, man? He was a game changer.
yeah. And this
R.I.P.
yeah, definitely rest in peace. And it's unfortunate that he didn't get the shine the way he should have. I think he definitely would have been this generation's Undertaker.
I think so
And
too.
like I personally think that if it wasn't I don't think Brock Lesnar should have broke the streak. I think it either should have been Roman Reigns or Bray
I,
Wyatt.
I think it should have been Bray Wyatt myself. Reigns would have been my dark horse there, but I
Yeah,
also think that Brock shouldn't have. I mean, that was at a time where I don't know. It was just a really weird time in hindsight now that we know a lot of what's been going on in the behind the scenes, right? Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would have liked to have seen Bray get over on Undertaker. That would have been super super cool. That would have been like the passing of the torch, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, most definitely. And it's like it is even more messed up that they put this group together, the Wyatt Six, and it's like he's not around
Yeah.
to be part of that group. Because I think that if he was part of that group, I think things would have been like crazy. And I just hope going down the line for the Wyatt Six that they push them right. Don't push them for a couple of months, and then when they take their first loss, then it's just downhill from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I feel like they stories to keep that mystique and that appeal of like what Bray Wyatt did, they gotta definitely just like keep things fresh for them. You know, they gotta put them in storylines that make sense. And I see that they've been kind of like flirting with the tag team championship, so that'll be interesting to see who they have from that group go for the tag team titles, or they could do a freebird rule like the New Day.
Yeah. And another cool thing too is IPW Island Pro Wrestling alumni is actually Redbeard Eric Rowan.
Oh,
So
sweet.
yeah, he performed up here about a year and a half ago. Same thing, right before he went back onto WWE. So I don't know if that's saying something. Like all these talents want to come and work for our promotion and then go back to WWE, but that's a pretty cool saga to get going.
Yeah, hey, that's something to feel good about. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's pretty
So
cool, man. Like to have an alumni like that.
yeah. So is it any wrestlers that you could think of that you would love to have on an IPW show?
Matt Cardona. I'd love to get Matt Cardona up here. It'd be super sweet. I'd like to get PCO up here too. That's just kind of like a
Okay.
selfish treat. Um, he just comes off like doing a movie now recently too. He had a big
Yeah.
movie breakout. There's a laundry list, especially with our board of directors. Everybody's got that like little wish list that they want to bring up here, but
Yeah.
we gotta play it smart. We gotta play it cool. We want to be here for a long time coming, so we don't want to burn up the budget right away on a pile of big names. But there's some cool names like as I said, Matt Cardona would be a fantastic matchup here. We'd make sure to showcase him appropriately. That's for sure.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So Justin, I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for
Um,
having me, Mike. It's been awesome, man.
oh, no problem, no problem. Just you're the guest, so I had to talk, let you talk about your promotion and just
Well,
give
even
it.
just our chat back and forth about wrestling, man. I thought it
Yeah.
was good conversation. And anytime you want to link up again, like hit me up for sure.
Oh, definitely, definitely. So, any last words? Anything you wanted to promote and
I mean,
push?
we do that shameless self promo stuff. Go follow us on our socials. We're on YouTube. We're on Reddit. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on X/Twitter. We're everywhere, and it's all at Island Pro Wrestling.
Sweet, sweet. So, real quick, I want to give a couple shout outs. Want to shout out WSN. Make sure once again you check them out on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire Stick. Make sure you check out Wrestling from the 313. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is
Already
over.
done.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Over 5,700 subscribers. We
Love
on
it.
the road to 6,000. And yeah, make sure you follow on YouTube. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X/Twitter.
Yeah.
And just enjoy pro wrestling, support your independent wrestlers,
Thank you.
support wrestling podcasters. We out here doing what we love and just trying to
Building a community, man. You're building a
definitely,
community.
definitely build a community and just bring that positive love.
Yeah.
So for my guest Justin Somers from IPW, make sure you check out his event Game On. It will be streaming on Twitch. Justin Somers, I am your host, Mike D. Thank you for watching Wrestling from the 313. We will be back on next week with 2 episodes, Tuesday and Wednesday. So make sure you stay tuned, and we will see you later.
Appreciate
Peace.
it, brother.
No problem.